Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's Ask the Mayor segment. I want to thank you for participating over the last few weeks in this effort to reach out through the web to a much wider audience of people, people who agree, people who disagree with many of the things we're doing. We want to hear from you, and I want to take the next question. This week's question from Twitter, user Just a Teach, is about the California test scores released this week. Just a Teach asks, even with those gains, students are still far prepared for college and high school. What are you going to do to improve? I think what she's talking about is, as many of you know, I took over the 10 lowest performing elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, 10 of them in Watts and East LA. I took on these schools because I said early on I didn't want anyone to think that we were going to cherry pick, if you will. We wanted to get some of the toughest schools, some of the most violent schools in Los Angeles. We wanted to do that because we thought it was important that we show what you can do when you set high expectations, even in some of the communities where these schools have struggled. We very happy to report that in 9 out of 10 schools, our English scores are up. In 8 out of 10 schools, our math scores are up. In half the schools, we did better than the school district. But even with the gains that we made, in our high schools, by the way, we outgained the district overall. And remember, we're comparing the lowest performing schools with all of the schools in LAUSD. And even with the progress that we made, we're not satisfied. I said early on that this wasn't going to be a 1-year effort or a 2-year effort. This is a 5-year effort to turn around our schools. Each year, we intend to outperform LA Unified School District, which, by the way, is also moving in an upward trajectory and showing steady improvement. What we said was we're going to build on the first year where there are areas of deficiency, and there are in our partnership schools. We're going to work on it. Where we need to build up teacher and parent support, we're going to do that. We're going to do everything we need to do to demonstrate that with innovation, with accountability and responsibility, with metrics-driven reform, where we say these are our goals and we're going to reach them, we're going to get there. That these kids can soar, that they can reach for the stars and follow their dreams. Now, in that vein, in the coming week, there's a proposal that is probably the most far-reaching proposal to transform the school district in its history. The proposal is simple. It says all new schools. And as you know, because of the bonds that have passed, that the people of Los Angeles have passed over the years, we'll build about 50 new schools in the next few years. We believe that in those new schools and in the failing schools, the program improvement schools, and there's some 200 of those, we ought to be able to have parent choice. We ought to be able to say, let's make sure that the best operator in these new schools are matching the new schools with new reform efforts. In the failing schools, that we're working together to set up a metrics-driven approach to accountability and responsibility, where parents and teachers have more of a say in their local school sites, where the community is working in collaboration with the principal to set the highest expectations, to raise scores, and to have the kind of accountability that President Obama has talked about when he says that school districts are going to have to change. And so we're excited about this proposal. This proposal's a proposal by school board member Yoli Flores Aguilar, who in consultation with me last year worked on this issue. We're excited about it. We think it's important. And we're saying to everybody, it's time for parents to be able to choose. It's time for all of us to say the status quo isn't good enough, that we can do better, that even in my own partnership schools, when we do well, we're going to acknowledge that success. When we don't do as well as we like, we're going back to the drawing boards. That's the attitude we want in LA Unified. And with this measure, this resolution, we're going to get the kind of change our kids deserve. Thank you so much.